Hello folks, we're now in week 3 of the module. Hopefully things are moving ahead okay for you. Last week in week 2 we introduced and talked in some depth about the learning contract and the key aspects of the learning contract, including the overarching learning outcome, the learning outcomes themselves, the content and the learning activities. Now I specifically asked you to focus on those aspects of the learning contract and not to worry too much about how we would assess, what the negotiated assessment item would be. So that's what we're going to look at this week. We're going to hopefully work towards completing your learning contract by looking at the different forms of negotiated assessment item that we might use. So those include, for example, literature review, case study, reflective essay, the PDSA framework or PDSA projects, and some students have even used lesson plans if what they had decided would be the best way of demonstrating achievement was to develop a means of using that as a study session or a professional development session or something in their role. The one thing I would advise though is that PDSA projects and the lesson plans tend to lend themselves to longer 2-trimester 40 credit modules because of the amount of work that's involved in them. They're not so easy to achieve in a single trimester 20 credit module, but the choice is yours and we can have a discussion about it. But as long as we negotiate and agree on what it should be, it'll be fine. But as I say, those latter two do tend to take an awful lot more work. So what I'll do this week, I'll post some information about the different formats of common negotiated assessment items for you to have a look at and maybe help in the decision making, so that come to week 4, when we're hopefully finalising all the learning contracts, you're approaching the discussion with me in an informed manner for us to come to some decision about what the best approach is to take. Now remember, the bottom line is you have to focus on setting something that's achievable. That's not to say that it's going to be easier than it has to be, but don't set yourself something that's too complicated and make life difficult for you. Make it as straightforward as possible that you're confident that you can achieve, and as I say, we'll have a discussion about it anyway. I hope things are going okay with the module and that you are beginning to enjoy what you're doing. Most students, by the time they get to week 4 or 5, really are enjoying the module because they're able to focus on an area of practice that is of significance or that's interesting to them. But if you are having difficulty, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Drop me an email or give me a call. Leave a voicemail if I don't answer immediately. I'm not always around at my desk. For example, this isn't my room. I'm over in Belfast delivering another course just now. So quite often I'm kind of out and about, and I can maybe take 24, 48 hours to respond to some emails, but I'll do so as quickly as possible. Next week then is a classroom session, and once again I would encourage as many people as possible to come along to that. The week 2 one was particularly well attended, and I thought it was a good session, and I think if we do get a good attendance in week 4, when you're finalising your learning contracts, then you'll probably get the greatest benefit from it. I hope you've also been participating in the online discussions. I'll go in and check those out today as well and maybe add a few comments and a few replies or whatever, but try and keep up to date and keep in touch with the rest of the group, so that you're sharing experiences and you've got an idea of what each other are doing and you can maybe benefit from what everyone else is doing. But as I say, just try and keep in touch with each other. Keep in touch with me. If you're running into problems, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Okay, and we'll see how things go next week. Hopefully I'll see you all next week in class, but I say we'll see how things go. Okay guys.